I swear to God. I swear. I can't. You know what? Let me just tell you something with this friggin' hold on. I just don't understand it. It's not even like it's a whole bunch of shadows back over there. Like why? Why does it act like it's just blaring at me? It's not. I literally have to almost close the freaking the blinds all the way, and I want to look outside. I don't understand what it is about. Oh, hold on. Let me put my headband in because my sunglasses are my headband. You know what? Anyways, I'm alive. I'm here. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, life's been life and feeling really good. I actually had some great conversations. Look, my hair was in. This is the reason why sometimes I like. This is what happens when your hair's still damp. Go to bed, and so then you put it up, and some weird shit happened. Anywho, all right. I titled it a weekly check-in. It's whatevs. Okay. I do have my coffee. So let's just go ahead and dig in. Is the sound good? That's the one thing that I do need to know. Because I tripped on my cord and yanked it out of the mic, and I was like, I was supposed to test it before I got back on because y'all know weird shit happens electronically for whatever reason. And there's a reading that I had tried to upload in July. It was an amazing reading, and I remember it being so amazing. Okay, um, the masculine's childhood dream of a family, and there's a whole backstory and reason as to why particular masculine was thinking about it, and some of the feeling like it won't happen, blah 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 blah. It was an amazing reading. I uploaded it, and there was issues uploading. Didn't find out until like I don't know days later or whatever, and they're like, "There's no, it's not there." Like on my end, it was just like showing error, and people could see where it was trying to be posted, and it just wasn't posted. Okay, and so I kept saying, "I'm gonna retry it." I'm da da da. Let me tell you, this weekend I went through and I have been recording um a lot. I have over 30 readings that are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour or longer that are not uploaded. And so when I tell you I have been recording and I'm just not uploading, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. Let me make sure. Hold on. There, you know, there's always something going on in my family, but that was just my child who is texting in the middle of school. So I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And not even me, not even texting me. What is going on? He's texting the group chat. I'm like, you won't get in trouble. Anywho, I went through everything. And I looked at the date at which I tried and attempted to upload it. And I have an external hard drive. I went through that. I went through my actual computer's hard drive, and I found other videos that I was like, oh, like times where I recorded and didn't know it saved somewhere else. So I will do another look. But when I tell you, I looked every place I could, and I could not find that reading. And I was like, what is going on? Because they've been pushing me to do that, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the meat. Like I was like, I that's okay. That probably has something to do with today's. I guess I'm telling this for a reason. I did weed out any of the ones that I thought were like, ugh, anyways, or like repeats. I still have over 30 readings to upload. I have issues. No wonder spirit's like, you get on my nerve, woman. You get on my nerve. Um, but yeah, I can't find it anywhere. So it's like something that's supposed to happen, something that you feel nudged or pushed or shoved or like guided to do, but you can't find out how. And it may be having something to do with something you've already done or you feel like you've already done. Because I'm going on a tangent. Like I have said this when I tell you, like I can't tell you how many readings I come on, how many lives I come on, and I go, "Hey, I'm going to upload that one reading." It has been like you must be saying you're going to do something, and you've said it for quite some time, and spirit's like, "Bitch, you have yet to do it." And the moment you go to do it, there might be a hiccup. I wonder why. All right, let me just give you a friendly reminder. You're a sovereign being. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. So my recommendation to you is never Cinderella shit to make it fit. Okay. Um, where are we gonna start? Hermetic tarot. That was loud and clear. Um, hope everybody made it to the crossroads yesterday. Those who work with Mother Hecate. Remember that it extends from the 16th all the way into the 17th. So if you haven't, by all means, um, you still have time. Let's figure out what the fuck's going on. Like, I feel like I was going to tell you all, I think I was going to tell you all, I've already cleaned everything up and some upload, but I got stuck on that. That might be what it is. Somebody's stuck on something that they can't figure out how to do it. Somebody's stuck on something they can't figure out how to. Six of Cups. All right, buckle in. Six of Cups, Four of Cups. Hermit, Five of Wands. They're bringing me heavy to the Lord of Pleasure. Six of Cups does indicate indulging in luxuries, pleasures, uh, day-to-day things that bring you happiness and joy. Like they're showing me a bouquet of flowers. It's that rose-tinted glasses, that love of life, maybe romanticizing life. Four of Cups is kind of like staying out of something, though. It's that apathy card, like I'm not engaging with anything in my current circumstances or life, those 3 cups, and I'm also not doing anything to move myself towards that 4th cup, that proverbial cup that comes from the sky. And then we have Hermit and 5 of Wands. This is the I don't know how. I can't figure it out. I feel stuck. Like Hermit is somebody okay. Somebody can't figure out how to move out of hermit mode. Somebody can't figure out how to move out of hermit mode. I just don't you don't get it. You don't understand. It's a struggle. I feel like somebody not somebody, shit. I feel like spirit's asking you to return to joy, have fun, enjoy yourself, indulge in life's little pleasures, and you're just, like, doing nothing. Like, if you're dissatisfied with what is, why aren't you moving towards something else? Are you waiting for the proverbial cup from the sky to help you? Why can't they move out of hermit mode? What's the it's almost like hermit mode is the struggle, but getting out of it is a struggle. We have the moon, page of swords, the sun, and the queen of wands. It feels like you haven't received something psychically. I'm getting the moon card. I feel like you feel like you're waiting for some type of guidance because the page of swords is giving me like the information, the conversation. It's like the guidance. And the moon is ties it to the more etheric, intuitive, like your intuition isn't guiding you, isn't speaking to you. You feel like spirit's not speaking to you. You like how? I don't know how. But then we have the sun with the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands isn't necessarily somebody she pulls something into her rather than does anything per se. And the sun card is kind of like the sun is feeling like your power. Your power is pulling things into you when you are sitting in your Queen of Wands energy. But if you're in the Four of Cups, that very apathetic, like I'm tapped out or I'm kind of like checked out a little bit of life. Okay. Like you just feel like you're like, I don't know what to do. I am stuck. I don't know how to move myself. That's what you're waiting for. You know what? I think you know that you know when you are doing things that excite you, that feel adventurous, like when you feel like your life force is on like when you feel on fire is when you're doing great. That includes like creativity, enthusiasm. I feel like a childlike play, just this oh, childlike. 6 of Cups, yeah. So you're okay, so some people, when they are confident and sensual and, uh, uh, tapped into their more pleasures, we'll say, that's where they manifest the best, right? Like, everybody's you can manifest in any kind of you know what I mean? But the effortless manner, we all have, like, this special little when I'm doing like this or when this is happening in my life, man, shit just pops off. You have some people who very much so a mental thing. And so when they have mental clarity, mean they just don't have a bunch of raging thoughts fighting one another and they're just in a peaceful mental state. There's something because like I've talked about this before. Like my son can just go, "Oh, that's gonna happen." Like he just determines it's gonna happen. He doesn't have the conflict of in his head. And when he fucking does, guess what happens? It's irritating to watch. I'm like, you look at his chart, that child has so much air. He has so much Gemini, so much Mercury. I'm like, okay. Even his love, even his Venus is Gemini. Like that is how you get. You know what I'm saying? So for him, he connects in that capacity. Um, this is a childlike love and fervor for life, a curiosity, a playfulness. Playfulness and enthusiasm are your whoever I'm reading for. That's your kind of like, ooh, yes. Like, like there's a lack of inhibition. Um, that's the reason why, and when you're in that, that's where you're like, I feel like your sacral kind of like lights up. Um, Curiosity, creativity, playfulness. Um, you might have like a very they're saying an essence, and but then they also said effervescence. So I don't really know, like, but a very childlike essence to you. Um, okay, that's when you. naturally and easily attract things to you. So why are we waiting for you need help getting into that. Okay. You need help getting into that. You're stuck in hermit, which is a very introspective, serious um discovery. But I think you're done with that. And we do tend to kind of like isolate and stay stationary, like hunkered down when we're in that. So you very well a 6 of cups, there's usually others, right? Varying different groups as 2 groups of 3 cups. 3 cups is your social networks. You may not be doing this is also okay. They keep bouncing. I can't get a full thought out. Like soul family. So you may have been in transition, looking for or not looking for, but almost like a clearing away and a pulling in of new connections. So you're kind of stuck in hermit mode. You're like, I know I could be helping this process out along. I do. How do I move? It's like, okay, God. Um, you're also really great at like playing with other people and their energies, like consciously, like they know you're and you bounce off, like your energies bounce off and you know how to amplify and make it like woo, like really elevate that energy. But you're literally it's just you and your energy. And you kind of need like a fire starter, son. You need a fire starter, the kindling, like the lint from your dryer that you need something like that because you're really here in the 4 of cups. Queen of cups. I love that. Okay, I see the 10 of wands and the temperance. They came out reversed. I don't usually do reversals unless they say something. This was very intentional. That 10 of wands is fucking done. Done with that. First off, doing it on your own, like you've got to get out of this isolationary, individualistic energy. Because there's something about being around others where you can kind of like ping pong it, do, 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 do. And they're showing me a ball of light that just goes, Bec- you can't banter by yourself. You can be playful, but it's like there's nothing to I don't know. There's just something like they're showing me chemistry lab where like you put all the ingredients, you got to add one more to make it right. And so it's kind of like you need something to mix your energy with to kind of like ramp it up. Um, we're going in metaphors today. Yay! Temperance. You're almost too imbalanced. It's almost too peaceful. It's almost too uh I feel like the pot needs to be stirred. I feel like it's almost like stagnant waters. So it's kind of like, you know what? Like you recalibrated yourself and you have stayed in a very you've achieved some type of peaceful, harmonious state, temperance, but it's time to kind of amp things up. It's time to ramp things up. It's time to stir shit up. Okay. So there's something in the Eat, Pray, Love, the book, the movie, when she's in Bali and she's talking to some guru, and he says, sometimes to find balance, you have to get out of balance. Sometimes that is balance. So it's a notion of what balance really is. Because again, when waters stay still for too long, they become rancid and stagnant. So that's the reason why it's like waters need to be flowing again. Um, okay. and with, Ten of Wands is the idea the worst of it's over. So it's like it's time to come out. But you do know that. You know this. But there's something very apathetic. And so they're like, you need to be in your childlike wonder, curiosity, playfulness, but you need a fire starter to help you. We have with the Queen of Cups the Judgment and Eight of Pentacles. This is like get like Queen of Cups is definitely your intuition, your connectedness. Um Judgment is with the Eight of Pentacles is like there's been a decision on a path. You're focusing on something. Eight of Pentacles, you're focusing on it. You're trying to see something through. Something that you felt remember as with the readings that I was describing, I was like, I feel called to do something. I just don't know how to do it because I can't find it. Like I couldn't like I know I did it. I know. So this is something where you've been in this type of energy before. You know how to be the 6 of Cups. You know that. You've been there, done that, but for whatever reason you can't figure out you can't figure something out. You need a fire starter. And it's like because you've already decided on something and you know you can bring it to you because they're showing me like a rope where you can kind of like it's like you're moving too, but the rope is moving also. So it's like you're making moves, like, but you're all as you're moving towards something, you're pulling it towards you. Okay, what? Okay, we're gonna pick a different deck because you're just same shit. Knight Sun Tarot. All right, so how can they jumpstart this? It's okay. When I tell you today is the day of fucking analogies, it's the day of analogies, all right? So they're showing me somebody who left their lights on in their vehicle overnight. You know the battery's good. And really, actually, it can hold charge. You just need to jumpstart it and then let it run for a while, right? Because in when it's running, it almost like recharges the it. Anyways, something about hermit mode because they were giving me the beams of the lights, that were left on. That's the star in the hermit's lantern. There's something about it drained a certain battery because again, hermit mode is a very introspective, serious, contemplative, truth-seeking type of energy, right? And so, but it drained your inner child, and so you need it. Okay, we're done with the analogies. Tell us how to do that. What can they do? What is your suggestion? And again, you're waiting for this too because you're like, spirit, want to help me out? How do I do this? Because you feel spirit speaking to you. You feel spirit's encouraging this. You're like, but how? And when you try to go and do it, there's something unsuccessful about that. This is just a general read, guys. Weekly check-in, just letting you know, okay? Something needs to be cut out. We have the Knight of Swords, talks about a complete severance of something, which causes a pivot. What needs to be cut out? That will lead to an energy change. Wheel of Fortune. What needs to be cut out? Please explain. We're back over to the Temperance in reverse. There's a pivot and a cutting out of something that will create the energy change that's necessary. The Wheel of Fortune is about luck, but we have the Justice card, and on it, it's kind of like you're weighing up something. There, the egg is the new start. The egg is what you're trying to crack open, right? That's the new beginning. That's a new phase, a new energy. You're weighing something up against it, but again, even then, it looks blank to us. We can't figure out what it is. Thank you. Um, heard what is right, what is just. The egg is over the omega. Alpha is the beginning, the omega is the end, but the end is the beginning. Again, something has to end, something has to be cut out. And then we have the devil, something that you are staying tied to. It can't be as simple as, oh, just quit trying to be the hermit. I mean, you don't want to be the fucking hermit anymore. You're like, I'm ready. Okay, explain the devil to me. Ten of Swords. The devil. Now, with the devil card, the heart is sitting on an open book. I was gonna say book of destiny, and they're like the book of options, and your heart is sitting right on top of it. You've already made a decision on a path that you want to go. It's something that you're focusing on. You know where your focus is. You're honed in on it. You know exactly the direction that you want to go. But you have this proverbial like there's a disengagement here with that 4 of cups. You may have hit some level of some proverbial rock bottom, worst case scenario. And that's what you have to walk away from. So the 10 of swords is you have to walk away from some worst case scenario. This feels very loose, as in like different for everybody. And so when they're saying a worst case scenario, it's kind of like it could be as simple as I got kicked out of college, worst case scenario. I got, something, there's some past defeat, I will say, with the 10 of swords that you have to walk away from. You have to let go. Somehow that wraps into the 4 of cups, that sense of apathy. And it's not something that you see because when we look at the scales of the justice card, it looks like it's a blank scale, yet it's even with the new beginning. So it's something that carries just as much weight for you that you're not recognizing. You have a wish that you can manifest into reality. 9 of Cups, Magician, Page of Pentacles. It is 1,000% something that can be brought into reality. So you're holding on to something that needs to be cut loose. You're not aware of it. You're not seeing it clearly. It is something that has to do with some type of worst case, something that happened. Okay. And that too is the 6 of Cups as well. Your history, your past. Something from the past is keeping you in this apathetic. what does the worst case scenario have to do with what happened? Like you hit it and you're like, the thing is, if you don't move, it's like if you play dead, you won't get attacked. Eight of Pentacles again. So it's funny, the path, okay, the path that you're looking at, and you're like, I know this is what I'm focused on. This is what I want to do. This is the path I want to go. You've already decided, is the same path where the worst case scenario has already happened before. This could be career, relationships, whatever it is. You're like, but the funny thing is, yeah, see, there is some past pain or trauma uh, and defeat associated with the exact path that you want to go down. And it acts as an anchor because it holds just as much weight within your being and your energy as this new beginning that you supposedly want. Yeah, very deep seated. The moon. It's very deep seated. Is this like stuck in the body or is this stuck in the psyche? Moon would say psyche, but I want to make sure. Is this stuck in the body or in the... You lack the same fervor and excitement and love of this as you did when you first started, when you first tried, when you first... So, like, you know how, like, we have, again, rose tinted glasses, 'cause, like, with love and everything, it's like, I'm gonna find my person, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's even your spiritual path. After you became awoken, everything felt magical and beautiful, and it got bright, and all of a sudden it got dark. Things got really dark. And you don't have the same fervor for the spiritual path that you're on. Or this could be a career where, like, you were the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed individual that had a lot of hope and faith and belief and, like, the strength, like nurses do. And then they come out of it and they're like, or teachers, that passion you have for something. Because we have the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. And these are very innocent, budding, beautiful energies, right? Passion and love for something. And somehow that led you to hermit mode. And now here we are, Four of Cups again. So again, it's something you've done before. You're like, you can't seem to bring the love and the life back for something. The excitement, the curiosity, the pleasure of it. And again, this could even be still just love in general. Like, I really want it. At a soul level, you want it, you desire it, you feel called to it, you feel pushed to it, but you're just like, I can't cross that threshold. I can't seem to get excited about it. I can't seem to get excited about anybody. I can't seem to have this Page of Cups kind of hope and faith. It doesn't feel the same entering into the arena again as it did before, whatever the arena is. Mm, sorry. I need to pay attention. So, what's the fire starter? What could ignite this? What could get this going? The sun does not help, Spirit. Come on. What's the fire starter here? How can they get this back? I will say this sounds very basic. Some of y'all need to get out in the sun. There's something recharging. We talked about recharging the battery. There's something recharging about this. Um, I can align with this. I know some people prefer, rain and fog, and that recharges them. Whoever this is, you need sun. Like I almost get the sense of like letting the sun hit this. Some of us lack certain things that bring about the appropriate serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, things like that working appropriately. And there's something about being in the sun that actually helps and assists. I know a lot of the science behind it, but I'm not going over that. There's something about some of y'all very tangibly need to get outdoors in the sun. Sorry, let me just um fire starter, fire starter. There's also the idea of feeding off of an existing fire. Like you don't need all the kindling and things like that. If somebody else has a fire, they can just let you light your torch off of them. I don't know where they're going with this. They said no. I really thought they wanted that. They want Azathoth. Okay. Two of Swords. How do I get this fire started? What can ignite this? Explain, please. Obviously, cutting something out. We'll find out what we. Okay. I feel like we're going in a circle, and I'm going to figure this shit out for you. To cut out this past experience, to kind of let it go. Like, here is the Three of Cups with the Seven of Wands. There's something so very nurturing about feeding off of the energy of others, or it's not even feeding. We're going to rephrase that because you emanate so much out. Like, you don't ever just take it and hold on to it. There's this reciprocity. You're back and forth. Like, you're giving of your energy, and like, there's something that you do to alchemize and really build up uh, 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 the energy exchange. You create something. You help to create something that everybody can sustain from. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets something out of it. Everybody has a full cup. Um, but there is a need to have enjoyment. Like there's something that it restores you. It puts you in your rightful energy. Set of Wands. But they're giving me the Death card. Like you need to cut it out, and I'm like, okay, Captain Obvious, how? See, Five of Cups at the bottom. You're not even really aware of what specifically it is that's weighing those scales down. Because we want, remember, temperance, we want the scales out of balance because you want the egg to win. The egg is your new beginning, your new life. Okay. You don't want it competing with this other thing where it's like, you got to get out of balance to get in balance. Oh, I accidentally picked up the Sun card, which is what we're trying to. Okay, hold on. How do they? How if they're not aware of it? Let me put it back because I really want to. What is the trauma? There was a defeat, strength, and the High Priestess. They're giving me there's a Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. There's a thing that Santa Claus says, and it's Christmas must endure. And that's what they're saying. It must endure. Strength with the high priestess. There may be a grudge here at the level of or the length of time something took. Because with strength, I'm feeling like it's like feeling strung along, and the amount of faith. And again, that's the thing. Like you don't want to have you can't. It's hard for you to have faith and hope and love for this because just like with a person, if they string you along, and don't hold up their end of the bargain long enough, you walk away. You don't stay and waste your life away. And so there's this sense of whatever this is, it's like a promise that's been promised for a long time and it's not come to fruition. And you yourself, when you started on this, there was like this fervor for it. And there was a love and an excitement and a curiosity and bright eyed, bushy tailed, like, yes. And now it's like you got defeated because you f- it was taking so long. And instead of the thing that you thought you were moving towards, you got the exact opposite. Like the worst case scenario, or or you felt like you hit a rock bottom with it. I don't know if you felt like you got taken advantage of for having such hope and faith and belief, like a child does. And so you went into hermit mode and you analyzed and reflected and dissected and moved through and healed, but dare you do that again? Dare you do that again? It reminds me of, they've done these studies to track, like they've got studies where they've tracked children and they will, like when they're in kindergarten, and it's kind of along the lines of their artistic abilities and their imagination and their and all that kind of stuff, right? And um, at kindergarten level, they noticed that 90% of kids had what would be considered um, gifted and talented, kind of like, and then they move and they tested at 10, and I think it drops down to like 40 or 30%, and then they tested again at 15 and it's merely like 9%. And it's all because it all gets kind of like, for lack of a better term, beat out of them, programmed out of them. I think we've all seen. I'll share something. Um, Something that we do in my household is we always say it's everybody's allowed to be weird. My whole family's neurodivergent. You can go back 3 generations. Ain't a soul in my family tree, okay, on my mom's side that is not neurodivergent, either autistic or ADHD. Period, point blank. The gene is not missing. It's not missing no one. And so ever since my kids were little, it's like we let our weird flag fly. Even if my weird is not the same as your weird, we don't sit there and we don't pick at somebody because something's like weird is a beautiful thing. Weird is a byproduct of awesome. You can't be awesome and not be weird. You can't be weird and not be awesome. Okay. And so we have cultivated, or I have cultivated with my kids, this understanding that it's better to stand outside of the box. My child was ADHDing to the max. I mean, to the max, and we were trying to clean his room, okay? To the motherfucking max. Um, where I am asking him to do something, and I'm looking at him, and he is acting something out in his head right in front of me, as if like he's just like trying to talk over, like he's doing acrobatics and everything. And he's looking at me, he's like, okay, and I'm like, I was overstimulated. Um, he loves to pretend like he's in a movie. He loves to pretend like he's a character in a movie. And his imagination is so, And I was like, you need to act normal. And I got onto him. And I had every right. I'm gonna tell you right now, this child was pushing it. When I know that he could pull back and like even the things he was just even things he can focus on. Um oh my gosh. Uh and so he got upset. And I said, I'm gonna let you move through your emotions, and how you feel about me getting onto your case about something and telling you that you need to, follow through on a task. Because despite the fact that this is naturally how his brain operates, we exist in a world where there's never not a time that we don't have to be able to find a way to follow through on certain things for our own safety and well-being. Okay. And so he has to cultivate this, whether he likes it or not. Um, but he came to me, he was emotional and was like, I'm like tears and stuff. And I was like, I expect you're going to sit with your emotions and I'm going to let you move through them. I'm not going to save you from them. You need to figure out what in that bothered you and you need to, So he comes to me later and he just walks into my room and he looks at me and he's like, "What did you mean by normal?" Bleh. I was like, I should have fucking used that word. And so I told him in every situation and scenario, there's a baseline of expectation. And that at times indicates how we must approach, behave, and interact with either a person, situation, circumstance, whatever. And I explained to him that normal meant not fitting in some kind of box, but that it was the baseline of expectation for a particular task or situation or circumstance in order to successfully achieve that. That when I'm using the term normal, that's what I'm meaning, not you need to behave in totality in all of your life to meet the approval of somebody else. That's not what I was meaning. And then he goes, "Okay." And he just walks away. You know when you realize you've dimmed a light because of thing? And I was so proud of him that he sat with his emotions and he came in and he clarified so that he could understand because had he not, I would not have picked up on that in my overstimulated state. He could have that one moment of me saying, "You need to behave normal." And I told him in that particular instance, I was like, "You love to always pretend like you're a character. You over dramatize stuff." I was like he acts like he's on a telenovela. You know what I mean? Whether he's like, "Oh," and he's like, dying on the ground, or he's pretending he's not to, who he is, and he's like, and I'm like, "Buddy, I'm trying to talk to you. Can we put table this?" Um, it's like something dimmed the light. And for you, we all have those moments where we know the light was dimmed on something. And that was his inner child. And I had to go back and clean up. And I'm so glad that he said things and looked at me the way, because he looked at me like, "What do you mean by normal?" I was like, fuck. So I had a lot of cleanup to do after that. And to kind of help shift his perspective so he didn't internalize something. And it's still a conversation I'm going to revisit again several times to help him understand, like to make sure that that shift happened, that he's not that he didn't internalize something, but you internalized something. Something happened with the way something unfolded. The Ten of Swords, and it most certainly has something to do with the reliance or connection with other people, because the Ten of Wands, you've been hoofing it and doing it yourself, because something somewhere along the line, someone else came in and dimmed your light on this. Now, I want to share that with either a person or spirit, because the idea here is that something, the amount of strength, I think it was too much to bear, is what they're saying. Too much to bear for you. It felt like it was too much to bear. There was a burden with this strength. Like, faith can become a burden. And it may be a mixture. It may be that in light of what somebody else has done when you were on this path, it felt like having faith and belief in this was a burden. Because the high priestess is indicating to me, again, same as the devil, the heart is on the book of destinies, the book of options and opportunities. It's kind of like the high priestess talks about the path that you can go, but you can't carry with you. You can't move forward. You can't get that love and fervor back for it if you do not let go of whatever this past person did in regards to a path you so 1,000% want right now. You've already called judgment on it. You said yes, but you still stand there in the Four of Cups in limbo. And so until you've alleviated that burden where the unknown, oh, wrong one, the unknown, again, the scales, there's nothing over here. Until you let something go, and you've got to discover exactly what it is. And I've given you as many clues and indications as I can. You will not have that. And again, you, in this situation, you want the egg to win out. It should not be equal and in balance to some unknown weight that you carry. Because with these scales in balance, nothing is moving. And remember, the waters need to be moving again. It will run stagnant. It's in competition with something. So when you said yes to the Eight of Pentacles, there's something in competition with it that is getting just as much weight within you and your energy, as this proverbial thing you have your sights set on. So I feel as if what they're saying is, you don't need kindling, you don't need a fire starter, you just need to remove that thing. The fire is there. You just can't see it. This is a part of your legacy. This is a part of the lasting impression you want to leave on this world. Ten of Pentacles. This is a part of the rest of your life. Damn. Knight of Cups. Again, you can call it into you really quickly. What's the thing that happened? Somebody did something that tested your faith, your belief, your hope. about this. So your soul has said yes. Um, your mind is saying yes, but there's this piece of you that holds back because it remembers. I just heard fuck balance. Get what did this person do? Somebody wasted your time? I'm gonna give you a couple examples. You dedicated and poured yourself into a relationship with somebody only for them to be playing around, manipulative because look at all the dates on this quote unquote calendar. They're all mixed up. They're all mixed up. And they don't go in chronological order. They wasted your time. The sword is down. It wasn't genuine, sincere, and truthful. So, like, if this is a relationship you just poured into something that you're like, you really had no intentions. You were never really honest with me. Um, you just wasted my time. All that time. And again, remember I said there was some level of endurance. There was like, you've been doing it for a long time. You've been seeking this for a long time, and somebody came in and wasted your fucking time. Time that could have been poured into this. Another example is I really used to put an immense amount. People who've been around for a long time know that I used to come on live and I would do live readings for free, and like it was just this great wonderful thing. But I ended up having to put so much of my time and effort into caring, being a caregiver. Um, when sometimes situations were created that were unnecessary, I was assumed it was assumed that I would just take the role and responsibility for certain things, and people began piling it on because I was the person that was there instead of taking responsibility. And it was like, my daughter will do it. My daughter will do this. My daughter, and I was like, I will not fucking do this anymore. And it was like my life was not my own. And instead of relying on help and people, um, it was just expected of me. And every time I turned around, there was another fire to put out. Every time I turned around, there was, you see what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where it's like so much time was wasted. So in the midst of you trying to bring magician, your manifestation to you, somebody decided to insert themselves. This can happen in career. This can happen like in so many ways. And they wasted your like all this time. And I all that time could have been put towards exactly what it is that I want. And you wasted my fucking time. It's like they acted as a distraction and an interference to this very path that you want. And because it dragged on so long and things, you haven't achieved, or what you feel like you haven't really even, like, if this is a relationship, you can be like, all this time I thought I was on the path of my 10 of pentacles, just to find out you were fucking with me and wasting my fucking time, and I am back at ground zero. Do I even want to keep going on this path? If this is a career, something happened along the way where it's like, maybe somebody interfered, a boss or something, like people interfered and people wasted your fucking time, and it almost like acted like an intervention, or a distraction, and a blockage of some sorts. And it's just like, it is really hard to hold that same level of love and curiosity and fervor for something when you feel like you've been spinning your wheels. just to find out you've been spinning your wheels. Something in you says, I still want that. This is the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Had that thing not happened, had that person not been involved. It's it's time you can't recoup. And I think that's the thing that's competing with this new beginning is the notion that I could have had this sooner. I could have had this sooner. And you can't seem to let that go. But I want you to hear what you're saying. I could have had this sooner. The longer you hold on to this, the longer it is before this arrives. This apathy or this disconnectedness from doing anything, 4 of cups, might prevent you from encountering that again. Because what because it's a risk. What if that happens again? It's something worth putting your energy towards. It is something worth having love of and having an excitement over and a curiosity for. It is something that brings out your inner child. What if? What if the thing that I want and desire invites more of this bullshit into my life? Is it worth the time and investment then? That's the question, and that's what you have to fucking address. And you have a choice, the lovers. You have a choice. That's the thing that's competing. The fear or the idea that history might repeat itself has dimmed your light. The fire's still there. If you can cut that out, the fear that it will happen again, that you will waste your time, or the disappointment of the time that you've lost and the fact that you can't recoup it. Because while people love to say, time's an illusion and it's infinite, not in this existence, it's not. And right now, this existence is the only one that matters. You're here to have this human experience. So, but the longer you hold on to what was and what could have been and what should have been, you need to let go of what happened because your wish, your desire, your wish of this manifestation is still very much in alignment. Okay. Possible, worthy, and for you because we have the high priestess twice. It's for you. It is for you. Um, you just have to let that go. One more story from my past. My first son, fought with his father for custody of him. Everybody knows that he had addictions early on, and he faced some issues. Lost visitation at one point, all kinds of things. And then he decided he was going to, there was a custody battle. And again, you all know that my oldest has ADHD. They've toyed with, I'll say toyed with autism. Um, we just don't want to get the official diagnosis because of the current circumstances and everything in life. And OCD, like, I mean, he's had a lot. So he took me to court, and the judge goes, "This might sound sexist." First off, if a judge has to start off that way, it is sexist. She goes, "But sometimes women can't handle little boys that are wild." Now, at this point, dad has already taken him to try and prove me wrong that there's, no behavioral issues, but that's when he got diagnosed with ADHD. And then he's like, "Well, I don't believe it because I didn't get to see what they did." Like he's some kind of fucking professional. I had to fight to get my son back. I appealed it to the appeals court, and that can take time. 18 months later, the appeals court overturns the judge's ruling, saying that she abused her discretion, that she had no basis to change over custody, and that a lot of his behavioral issues when he went to dad's was because of the change. Because, kids with autism don't do very well with change. And it's rare to get a unanimous one. So it's multiple judges weighing in on this, and all of them agreed. I felt like for years I was trying to make up for lost time. And I kept trying to cater and tailor my parenting to make sure that never happened again. Because, women can't handle little boys that are wild. I lost out because of that fear on more time with him because I was constantly feeling like I had to have the answers. I had to figure things out. I had to advocate and fight for him and just to make sure because if things go off kilter just a little bit, I could lose him again. By the way, dad did everything I told the court he would, and I ended up getting sole custody because dad went off the rails. Anyways, I carried with me for the longest time the feeling of resentment that I lost out on that time. My son would frequently, "Mommy, why can't I be with you? Why did I," like, when I tell you, it was a lot to get over. And between the resentment that I felt like I had to make up for lost time and make up for any of the stuff that went to the wayside because his dad sure as hell wasn't doing something. All I did was rob me and him of more of me being present and having the experience of being his mom. I did eventually get it together, and he tells me to this day I'm his best friend. We have a really good relationship, but I'm telling you, it robbed me. The resentment, the anger, like I felt like I could never close the gap of the time that I lost with him. I could never make it up to him, and nothing could ever make it right what happened. Even getting sole custody, you think that would, it didn't. The anger at the way things were handled and the way that it unfolded was just immense. And so my desire and drive came to make sure it never happened again. I would play out every decision I made, I would play out what I would say if I was on the stand again, justifying it. It became like it was my own OCD obsession. Yes, yes. I everything became a debate in my head. I missed out. So did he. And what really resolved that was when I finally fucking let it go. And I realized I don't have to make up for lost time. You don't have to make up for lost time. You just have to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where you continue to lose out. on that time, on that opportunity. Okay? Because you could have it right fucking now. That's what they want you to understand. You could have it right now. You could have your wish fulfillment. Here's your wish. You'd be able to manifest it into your fucking reality. We have 2 sun cards also, which makes it the most like I don't care how bad it gets. The sun card nullifies all of that. Because when you get onto this path that you've decided you want to do, and you have that love of it again and that fervor and that connection and you achieve it, you're not going to give a fuck. You'll remember, but your energy will not be spent on. Yeah, but I lost out, all that. You won't fucking care because you got it fucking now and you will enjoy every second of it. Do yourself a favor and let it go. Knight of Swords, that shit. Nix it, pivot, and move forward. Quit being angry that you lost out. Quit being angry that you got detoured. I promise you, there's no recourse that will be able to eliminate or change that. I got soul custody. I was still existing in the same energy as if he was gone. All it did was rob me and rob him. So stop robbing yourself. If you can let go, you will absolutely shake things up. You will make those connections. I don't know, this one thing seems to prevent you from even connecting because they give it to me like the light is still there. You just have to remove the obstruction from it. And whatever path you've chosen most certainly has you out of hermit mode and connecting with others again. So, all right, that is the message for today. I hope it finds whoever it's meant for. I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys at the next read.